Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman, producer Shaun Tupas, Ivan Ranton, and today being a Tuesday, it's Therapy Tuesday with the one and only Dr Geraldine Tan. Good morning,
Good
Jerry.
Morning, Jerry.
Jerry, of course, is from the therapy room.
And as always, it's fantastic to have you with us, Jerry. Absolutely fantastic. Before we went out, it was interesting. We were talking about the PSLEs, right? Mm-hmm. And someone on our Facebook page said, PSLEs don't define the child, they define the parent. Based on your response to your child's grades, you define the parent and not the child.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a very astute observation, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think for the parents, just the last thing, tell your child you love them no matter what.
Yeah, that's the important thing. I agree with that.
Yep.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
All you parents should know. I'm keeping quiet because I have no kids, that's why. Just before FD, it reminds me once again that I have no kids.
As much as I tease you about having no kids, I've always said you would make a damn good parent. I've always said that.
I don't know about that.
He will spoil his kid.
I don't think so. I think that's the impression he gives people, but I think he will be a very level-headed father. I think Glenn will be.
I think I'll spoil my kid.
See?
And then I'll spoil my kid, and then after that, my kid will be a menace to society. That's why. That's why I have no kids.
Then you can go and see Dr. Jerry after that.
So it's good for everyone that I don't have kids, perhaps. They'll just be brats. Okay, so Jerry, today we're talking about mental health, especially during these COVID times.
Yes, I thought I wanted to pick it up again. I know it's been talked and it's a bit jaded, but I've been quite concerned, at the center because of the effects it has brought on with many different people, from that mood that is very volatile to the depressiveness that seems to have settled onto quite a number of people. And I'm actually quite worried because it's coming to the end of the year and seasonal depression has never been so real before. And with that phase 3 dangling, we've spoken about phase 3 for 3 weeks now and it's still not phase 3. It's just dangled in front of us, and a lot of speculations are going on. So many people are very irritated at the moment. So I thought I wanted to pick it up and start talking about the whole longer term effect of COVID.
Okay.
I think it's quite difficult for some people to understand this whole depression if they've never felt depressed themselves.
Yeah.
Like this year, I felt depressed for the first time for a whole week when we started working from home. Remember I was telling you guys about that?
Yeah.
And I realized what depression is. And I'm sure it wasn't, I didn't fall into deep depression, but I can only imagine someone who is feeling so depressed. Perhaps maybe they've stopped seeing meaning in life even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that is so horrible. Because I was just like really sad, that we didn't know what was going to happen when we were first asked to work from home.
Yeah.
And that to me, because I'm such a social person, right?
Yeah.
Just staying at home, being asked to stay home all the time, it really got to me. I was feeling sad every day, and I said, wow, what if this feeling stays with me for the whole year? It's no fun. It's that horrible feeling. So I can't imagine someone who's suffering from depression. It's just so horrible.
Is that where it starts, Jerry? This whole sadness of not knowing where you're going?
Well, you feel snooped, like you're in that corner and you can't get out of that corner. And you don't know when it would end. So I like the way Glenn put it, like you don't know when it's going to end. You don't know when, is it going to last an entire year? And if you can't take it now, can you take it for the entire year? And that's exactly what quite a number of those with depression have mentioned, that they feel quite stuck in that whole looping of thoughts. Yeah.
Is that an insecurity of sorts?
No, it's not an insecurity. It's a lot of fear. So that one would be more depressiveness rather than all the fear of or insecurity.
Yeah.
Insecurity would be something like, am I good enough? And can I, with my strength, break out of this?
Yeah.
Who am I? Sort of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why many people turn to alcohol. Alcohol sales actually went up, at the start. Okay, let's continue to talk about this live on Facebook while we play you this song. My favorite song from Dr. Alban. Here's It's My Life on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
Back.
My life, take it or leave it.
Yeah, so everyone was drinking, right?
Yeah.
At the start, just to numb the pain.
Yeah. So poor coping mechanisms start to surface, or more smoking more. They couldn't smoke, outside. So I don't know where they smoke.
Yeah.
Ivan knows. Ivan, where?
Yeah, so no,
where do people smoke?
No, I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about smoking.
I see. Okay.
So I've got a question for Dr. G. Of course, all of society is affected, which has led to many dramatic changes in how businesses act and consumers behave as well. So it's really tough for some. So my question is, Dr. G, have you seen a rise in behavioral changes related to this outbreak in your job, like anxiety, stress? Has it risen?
So throughout the entire pandemic period, so from the start where the circuit breaker broke, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen the initial crisis. So the crisis mode that people go into and the panic mode that people go into. And then you have the period of time where people are very unsettled. Okay, and they go up and down with all the I should do this, I should do that. I've got a routine, and then you see them settling into some sort of routine because we've got the work from home and we've got all that structure set up, and it's quite prolonged. And then you see the effects moving into, I think, the August-September period, where people started to get very volatile because it's just too long. They feel like a rubber band being stretched too far. So they start snapping, all the tension. So this is in general, yeah. So if those of you that don't feel this, it doesn't matter. Please don't go and seek for all these behaviors.
Yeah.
And then in the last month, I've been noticing a lot of depressiveness. Depressiveness not as a disorder, but depressiveness as low energy, feeling like, there's no way out. We read reports that, yes, vaccines coming up, but maybe we still need to wait for another 6 months, and we go, another 6 months. So there's this heaviness that is setting in, and it was worrying me quite a bit. Yeah. That just wanted to alert people so that we can pluck ourselves out of it. Yeah.
Jerry, one of our listeners has come up on our Facebook page and said, is the way to deal with it just to say to oneself, whatever it is, it is?
So that will be what we are going to talk about later on, how to deal with it. Yes, but first we need to identify all the other things. So I think we were talking about fear.
Yeah.
So what are all these fears, right? The fear of, I think the big one is that survival. So in Singapore, we're still okay, in terms of survival for our life, where the COVID is really under control. We are all very law abiding, so we have our masks on and we sanitize often. But I think it's the associated issues. So again, to do with survival, bread and butter issues. Now everyone is talking, or the people in the financial sector are talking about a financial crisis looming over our heads. So again, the job security. You hear retrenchments, in large organizations. I just heard one in one of the banks, 10% retrenchment just occurred. So job security, health, now people are really just more cautious. You have a fever, you have a cough, you start to get a little bit more paranoid. More worried. And then you hear people saying, oh, but if it is something I can deal with, I won't go to the doctors until 5 days later. I just want to observe, because if not, I'll get swabbed.
Right.
And there's this weird paranoia that is going on, and they don't seek help until they really need to. Yeah, so it is very worrying. And if you do have a medical issue, please go and see the doctor. The doctor would not just send you to get swabbed for nothing.
Yeah, but it's all this talk about, asymptomatic people and all that.
Yeah.
That's making the masses even more worried and paranoid.
Well, it's true. I mean, because I know people that I have had to speak to and say, look, you're sniveling, you're coughing, you're sneezing, go see a doctor. Oh, no, but then they're going to give me the test. And what happens if I am? So they don't go and see a doctor, and it's just wrong. I totally agree. And I know exactly what Jerry's talking about, because I've seen it.
It's worrying because they think that if they go and see the doctor, they get 5-day MC. It's going to affect their leave. It's going to affect their MC. It's going to affect their work performance. So it's all that associated fears they ruminate on and give them extra stress.
Right.
Okay.
But don't you think it's so funny that there are, different types of people? There's some people who want to get 5 days MC, and just chill out at home. There are people who want to stay at home and work. They don't want to go back to the office.
Yeah.
So there's so many different types of people,
There are, but quite a number of them are more worried about losing their job in this climate.
Okay, we're going back on air. Stand by.
Here we go.
On FM 91.3, Good Times, Greatest Hits. It is Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
So we're talking about COVID, the pandemic, and the long-term effects that it's having on people. We're talking about the fears that are involved here. But Jerry, as you put down and you told us, there's more than just fear, right?
Yeah,
definitely. There are other issues that people have to deal with.
Yep. I think the big one that recently just happened is the disappointment of home, where there's so much hope, and then for the travel, and I think many people were very excited. They're just cooped up in little Singapore, although we love our quaint little island. They just wanted to have a breather. And then it happened. It was deferred for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because of the fourth wave. Yeah. So it's disappointment after disappointment throughout this more than 6 months, so about 9 months now, right?
Yeah.
So it's disappointment after disappointment. And we know how disappointment hits us, where we feel a little bit upset, we even feel angry, and then, but the disappointment passes. But because of this prolonged pandemic, we are hit by one disappointment after another disappointment. So the brain goes into overdrive. When is my next disappointment going to come? Should I even hope for anything? Because the air travel bubble was a hope that everyone was holding on to. If it does occur, whether they booked a ticket or not, everyone was waiting to finally see that plane take commercial passengers and tourists to another country, and it did not happen. So that's really sad, for two nations actually. So another nation fell into worry and fear again, and then Singapore is disappointed again.
Ivan?
Yeah, Dr. G, I mean, all countries that can are trying to actually stimulate their economies to keep as much as possible of their necessary infrastructure intact, and of course to keep citizens productive or ready to become productive once this pandemic is overcome. So Singapore is on that path. We've done it. So what's your take on mental resilience?
So the mental resilience part is where we come later on and we talk about what can we do about it, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the listeners who wrote in also was asking about what can we do about it. So that mental resilience is that psychological strength, right? Where we talk about grit, compassion, gratitude, EQ, and I think neuroplasticity, so the ability to adapt and work with the environment. So we can go a little bit more into that.
Okay. Because I'm looking at the kind of questions that we're getting.
Yep.
And oddly enough, they're all going back to something you mentioned a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And that was seasonal depression. People want to know whether that's something that happens depending on the season in Singapore, if it's Christmas, if it's Chinese New Year. They're not quite sure what you mean by seasonal depression.
Okay, so it typically doesn't happen in tropical Singapore, but sometimes we do see that when, because we have all the festivities, some people call it by many, many different names, like the festivity blues, oh, I don't want the Christmas to come, it's so crowded, it's just too much noise, chaos. Seasonal depression comes with the seasons. They're absolutely right. In wintry countries, so you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, London is so gloomy."
Yeah.
But I love it. If you can peek, I'm so sorry you cannot see from my window, but I really love all the way down Orchard Road when it's really dark outside. It feels like London.
and you like that gloominess.
Yeah, I love the rain. I love when I'm indoors. Yeah, so if I'm soaking wet, that's not so fun. But if I'm just watching it, it really feels like winter in Singapore. But a lot of people who experience winter overseas find it very restrictive because, it's cold when you go outside and it's really, really cold in some of the countries. So they run into an enclosed space. So it's a lot to do with all that restriction, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to bundle up, the layers of clothes that you have to wear. It's just miserable. They really feel so miserable and they pray for that sun to come out. Yeah.
Which is why they go crazy during summer. Because all of them, feel that seasonal affective disorder, so to speak, or sad during that time. Yeah, but for us, we're tourists. We go down during that time. We love it.
We love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely.
We love it.
Yes. And I think many, many people, I'll be their voice today, miss going to someplace cold, being bundled up, having hot cocoa by the fire, that sort of feeling, that sort of sensation, that warm sensation. Strange, but yes.
Okay.
You know what? We should go to Snow City.
Well, I tell you what, when we come back, I'll tell you what's been frustrating me over this pandemic.
Okay, it is 8:18.
1FM time check.
I'm going to open a hot chocolate stall in Snow City.
Snow City.
I'm sure they already have
I think
one,
they've
but-
got one already.
I don't think so.
But I'll tell you, as we head into December and we're heading into Christmas, what is frustrating me the most is what Jerry was saying. It's that inability to get out of Singapore. That's what's frustrating me. Because it's become so much a part of my life. December means travel.
Yep.
It just means travel to me. And I don't have that opportunity. And I'll be honest, when I see stuff on social media and, you see these companies going, oh, travel here, take a look at this tour that we're running in Europe and blah, 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 blah. I really want to curse and swear. I really want to curse and swear because it's just annoying the hell out of me. It's
Yeah.
But why are they doing that though? I mean, if it's not happening.
There are still travel companies that are putting stuff out on social media.
All right.
And it's just annoying the hell, Valencia and Barcelona and Madrid and
Getting people
Florence
to buy tickets in advance, right?
to buy tours, and it's just annoying the hell out of me because I know I'm not going to be able to do it. So it's frustrating as hell,
Yeah, especially for FD and us, you see, because we only go on leave twice a year.
Yeah.
So it's either June or December.
Yeah. So it's very, very frustrating.
It is. So many people would echo that sensation or that feeling. Yeah. And some people say, yeah, but Singapore is the best place to be in. I don't deny it. It's not about whether it is. We're not doing a comparison of the different countries.
Yeah.
We're looking at having that option to be able to go anywhere in the world. And that's why a lot of expatriates love to stay in Singapore, because from here they can go virtually anywhere in the world quite easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sit
true.
by my clients. Not from me. Yeah, I'm just echoing what they say. Yeah, so a lot of disappointments, right? And then, the 5 to a table, 8 to a table, 10 to a table, and we squabble about what are the numbers, what's the best number, and then it's like bidding, and then you feel the restrictions, you feel the disappointment if it really, what numbers come out, right? And when is going to come out. So it's always waiting and waiting and waiting.
How do poor social skills, or how do social skills come into play here?
Oh, I was chatting with quite a number of parents, teachers, a director of a Montessori, and we were all saying, and we are in agreement that, many of the little ones, after 9 months, right, they have lost the ability to read social cues and facial expression. They don't know, because your face is covered. 2/3 of your face is covered, so you only see the eyes, and the children need to see the entire person. We all wear our mask now, is it? Okay, come.
Okay,
let's all wear
we all
our-
put on masks. Okay,
Let's see the difference. Whether
Okay.
I gotta find my mask.
1FM viewers watching us live on Facebook. What do you think?
I think we look better this way.
How does this work now?
My eyes are really small, so I'm going to try to make my eyes.
No, your eyes are okay. Your eyes are still bigger than mine. You see when I smile?
And your eyes are nice because you got eyeshadow on.
Yeah, the rest of us are hopeless.
So, but really, no one can see our expression. You can curse and swear under your breath, and no one can see. All I'm looking at is our eyes now, right? And yes, eyes can speak a lot, but children cannot discern. So they are not equipped yet. Their brains are not equipped. So the teachers are really, really finding it very difficult to convey certain messages to them.
Okay, hold on. We're going back on air. FD's got to do a traffic report.
Okay.
Traffic.
So we know we've got the usual delays on the expressways. Can you tell that I'm smiling while I give you the report? I'm trying to smile.
Actually,
hope you can.
I can tell when you're smiling. I can see you've got smiley eyes when you smile.
Oh, is it? Or do
Yeah,
I?
try not smiling and try smiling but not smiling. It's not possible.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Usual delays across the expressways. The PIE towards Changi, a vehicle broken down before Pasir Laba. Look out for that. Stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Drive safely today.
Good morning, Singapore. It's Glenn and the Flying Dutchman. There's Ivan Ranton, producer Shaun and Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. We are live on Facebook right now.
Yes, and Glenn looks like the Joker.
Check us out. It's my rainbow mask.
Oh, it's a rainbow mask. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw
Are
a
we going
mask.
to keep it on?
I saw a mask with a beak. So it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like a duck talking. That's hilarious. We should all get that.
Nice.
We should get those. Yeah, very good. Okay, so kids are losing the ability to read social cues.
Yep.
But
yep.
surely that doesn't just affect children. I mean, adults would have the same problem, wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know whether
Well-
someone's smiling. I don't know whether someone's being genuine.
Yep. Yep. So, if the adults are feeling the effects of it, the children feel more because they are just learning. And that social distancing, I think I hear more and more of the clients saying, oh, I thought I was very social before, but now I actually like my space. I don't like people to come too close to me. So that's also worrying because they suddenly go, hey, actually I can stay quite well by myself. I can be independent. So they read it as independence. I don't need to have too many friends. I don't need to go out very often. So the adults are experiencing this. And I go, oh my gosh, what is this whole culture that we are breeding here? Where here we are talking about, resourcing yourself socially, reaching out to people. And then there you have another group of people, isolating themselves voluntarily.
So my question then is it that they enjoy this independence, or is a better word for it detachment? They enjoy the detachment from people.
I don't know. I actually read it as social disengagement. They totally disengage, right? And they refuse to engage unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that's in line with social distancing.
Yeah, but it is
You know what I mean?
the idea is that's a bad side effect of social distancing then.
Okay, let's think about it, right? So
Okay.
in the more Western culture, I go into a lift and I'll have people being very friendly in the lift and chatting with me. Okay, Asian culture, we already just keep quiet, but we still give a cursory nod or smile. Now with the mask, I'm exempted from doing all of that. I just go and just be on my phone and don't even look up, Some people might bother to say thank you, but most of the time because there's the protection of the mask. So the mask seems to protect us from a lot of things. So we just are in our little cocoon, our little cubby hole, and we just walk around like really just individual pods or something.
Right. I think we should adopt what the Japanese do.
Which is?
Because I really, really love the Japanese culture when it comes to greeting each other, where you bow. I can bow at someone who's walking from across the road, whom I have eye contact with.
Yeah.
And it's just so convenient and so universal and so. I think it's such a friendly gesture now, even with our masks and all that. You imagine the people in Japan, they're still bowing at each other.
But I understand what you're saying, and it's part and parcel of Japanese culture, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Singaporeans would actually agree to do that.
Why not?
Because I think they will find it submissive.
No. Because
Okay, what?
no, I think FD feels this way is because he's a little Caucasian. That's
No.
why.
I
think the Caucasians have a little bit of
I just wonder. For example, they tried to do this in schools. I don't know whether you guys remember that.
Yeah, we do what?
When a teacher walks in,
起立，行礼，
and then you
老师早安。
and did you bow?
Of course.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And exactly. But did you hear a lot of the comments that the parents made?
No.
I've heard parents disagree with that completely.
These are the Caucasian and Eurasian parents.
They're not. They're just locals. Why am I bowing to a teacher?
No, I didn't hear about that.
This is why I worry. I agree
Maybe
that
just
it's a
a
lovely
few.
custom.
It's just a few
But I
parents.
wonder
Okay.
if it would be fun.
There will
fun to
always be
submissive.
difficult parents.
Dr.
Then-
Jerry?
FD, when you cross a zebra crossing, how do you acknowledge thank you to the driver?
I raise my hand.
Okay. So I suppose we can do it differently. Some of us can bow, some of us can raise our hands.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I always raise my hand for traffic when someone stops for me. I find it's very important because whether I'm using a zebra crossing or not, I feel that he made the choice to stop. So I always acknowledge that, but I acknowledge it with my hand.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's play your song right now from the Spice Girls. Yes, two become one. While we continue to discuss this live on Facebook. Good morning, Singapore.
See, Jerry, you see, this is just where I'm coming from. Matthew Lee has just said on our Facebook page, in Asian culture, bowing is subservience. You see, there are people who feel that way.
There are like one or two. Who cares about the minority? I don't care. Really, you can't please everyone. Right?
That is true. That is true.
Yes.
You can't.
There's no way.
So I guess the not solution, but I guess it's up to an individual. So, where we want to acknowledge someone, we can always wave, we can always use our hand gesture, or others who are more comfortable can bow. So the K-pop culture, so this going for all those watching a lot of K-drama and things like that, you are the ones that have to bow because you love K-drama so much.
But I think especially now during the COVID period, right, it makes total sense because, sometimes we fist bump, we do the elbow thing and all that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are people who are sneezing into
your elbows.
the elbows, and then after that they're doing that, or they're coughing and they're and then after that they're fist bumping. Whereas something that's the safest actually would just be become face to face with someone, just
Small bow or not.
I see where Glenn
just
is coming.
acknowledge.
I see where Glenn is coming from and why it would work. The reason why I brought this up is a lot of people are saying you need to study Asian history. I think a bow is subservience if you bow and the other person doesn't.
Okay.
But when both bow, surely that is no longer.
Okay, maybe the word bow is is something some people have problems with. How about a nod?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's fine as well.
Yeah.
Maybe if you don't want to bow,
So
it's
a
fine.
nod.
Just a
Not a bow.
nod,
Yeah.
Right.
Totally agree. Dr. Jerry, a question for you. We're talking about social distancing and has been going on for the past 30 minutes that we've been talking. I've got a question that with the lack of daily routine and structure, especially for kids with special needs, how do parents make adjustments for this? Because you can't come to see a therapist or you can't go to school. How do parents deal or even make small adjustments while they're at home?
So for the special children, and actually for most children, they need routine.
Yeah.
So they need that structure for themselves. A morning routine, an afternoon routine, a night routine. So basically, even if the child is not at home in the afternoon, a morning routine and a night routine that should suffice for most children. So for those that need a little bit more structure, then you need to put in place at least one activity a day.
So
Thanks.
does that activity need to be the same activity, or can it be varied through the week? It can be varied through the week, right?
It can be varied through the week. If not, there's no excitement and no variation
No
to
stimulus.
the whole week, right?
Yeah.
So it can be anything. It can be anything, and it can be parked in the morning. So you have broad timings like morning or afternoon and evening, and you park the activities there.
Yeah. There's so many things you can do with your kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I mean,
Yeah.
in Singapore. So
Yeah. I do want to spend a little time, Jerry, talking about mental resilience and how we can build it in this time. How do we build that mental resilience?
So we have spoken a lot on that compassion to one another. So we have a lot of articles out there, a lot of people trying to educate, and I've got so many people, saying FD and Glenn are so awesome to do this segment to keep shouting out and reminding people. So that's the compassion that we want to give the other person, but also being kind to oneself. So my emphasis throughout this entire period is having compassion to the self, which sometimes we forget. Many people do a lot of self-abuse. And I don't just mean the, cutting behavior and things like that, but you work too hard or you don't give yourself enough credit. So you're not very nice to yourself. Yeah. So that's compassion. Then you have gratitude. Being grateful for what we have. So when we talk about mindfulness and everything, one of the things is being present. So being grateful is being grateful with what you have in this present, and not trying to look for what you don't have. So sometimes think of a container. So inside the container is what you have, but oftentimes you're looking outside of the container and say, yeah, but I don't have this, I don't have that in my basket, right? And you're stretching your neck and you're missing out what is right in front of you. So that's why we are always saying, keep that gratitude journal, look around, ask yourself, what are you grateful for on this day? And you just need to search for one thing. We can find 10 other things to be miserable about, but we cannot find one thing to be grateful for. But it's a very good practice, and I love to share it with people that please, every day, just sit with someone, tell yourself, what are you grateful for on this day? I'm grateful for the rain that is going to come.
I'm grateful for you, because I think what you just said was awesome. And many people needed to hear that, I think.
Yes, very true. Very true. I think many people are too hard on themselves, and I think sometimes even I have to take a step back because I get a little hard on myself sometimes. And you just.
But I like it when you're hard on yourself sometimes.
I'm only hard on myself when you forget to be hard on me.
Oh, wow. Such discipline.
You know us, lah. We're like an old married couple.
Yeah, we are.
We have our squabbles,
Yeah.
And I'm the lost child.
Jerry, one.
Daddy, stop
He's our lost
fighting.
child. Yes, actually, that's true, actually.
When we come back, Jerry, there's one more thing because we are short on time. There's one more thing I want to talk to you about: the tripartite advisory on mental health in the workplace. What's that?
Hold on. Coming up. Smash Mouth, I'm a believer right here on 1FM 91.3. We just established that FD and myself an old married couple. Shaun is our lost son.
Yes.
Then, let me see. That means Ivan must be your uncle then.
Yes, my uncle Ivan.
Okay,
my mommy and daddy.
For those of you who don't understand Glenn and myself, if you go to YouTube or go on the internet and look up a very old TV show called The Odd Couple.
Oh, Neil Simon's Odd Couple.
Go and watch that, and you
Wait,
will...
hold on. Played by Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Yes, and you will understand Glenn and myself.
Oh my God, we're not that old. Come on.
No, but it's just
2015,
how they
it's
deal
okay.
with each other.
I would rather, picture ourselves as Starsky and Hutch or something.
Okay, you can do Starsky and Hutch. I'll do The Odd Couple, and let everybody else discern which one we are.
Oh, there was a remake of The Odd Couple.
Really?
In 2015. Because when I googled The Odd Couple, the one that came up recently is the 2015 one.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you guys are talking about the 1982 one.
That's right, the 1982
which is Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Hilarious. Yes. Absolutely hilarious.
So who played The Odd Couple most recently?
Most recently cast is Matthew Perry and somebody else.
No way!
That it worked.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry, it worked.
Why didn't we?
Works for me.
Why didn't we see that movie?
I didn't see that.
Oh, Matthew Perry and Thomas Landon.
Okay.
Works for me.
Comedian, yeah.
Yeah, works for me. Jerry, so let's get down to this. The tripartite advisory on mental health in the workplace.
What an question. But before that, because I'm also on the web page, Madeline actually wrote she's grateful to be to live another day as a cancer survivor.
Yes, she is.
So
Well done,
I'm going to
Madeline.
send her lots of love, and it really resonated because my mom is waiting for her results also.
Oh,
so
wow.
send a lot of strength to all the cancer survivors
Yep.
out there,
Yes.
and also those waiting for their results, because it can be very anxiety provoking.
Yes.
So mommy, I love you. Just a little shout out there, because I know mom is watching and she does that every week. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah.
ma'am.
And
Very good.
Dory,
Auntie, I
everything
love you
everything
too,
is going to be okay.
thank you so much. So giving a lot of love to all that are struggling physically. So that's one of the fears, when we talk about survival, and it's so much more difficult during this period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so tripartite advisory on mental health came out last week, 17th of November. Yeah, so they rolled it out in the workplaces, and basically it covers it's encouraging workplaces to be more conducive, because they're recognizing that a lot of people are suffering from burnout during this period. Yeah, so they're finally recognizing mental health. Yay!
Yay.
It's about time.
Yes, thank you, Melvin Young, for doing that. Yeah, so they have encouraged workplaces to have mental wellness champions. I know there was a collective sigh that went on with quite a number of workspaces that they say, they give us more work. That's not mental health. Yeah. So whenever anything is implemented, people would see it as work. But it is out there. It's not very difficult to obtain resources. So there's the EAP program, Employee Assistance Program, that we encourage organizations to have. Basically, they would subcon or subcontract center like mine, okay, or any of the psychological centers, and their staff can come for counseling for a certain number of sessions. So it helps them to kind of download or just clear the cobwebs in their head so that they are a bit more productive. So that's the Employee Assistance Program. And also they are encouraging the workplaces to relook at the work-life balance, or after work sort of harmony with work. Yeah, so family life, work life, and to have a bit more balance, because they do realize that work from home, there's no boundaries. So they are looking at that. So I'm really happy that, we are pushing it forward and bringing it up into the forefront in organizations. But I also want to remind the employees not to use it as a complaint session. Yeah, and not to try and say, if you treat me like that, I'm going to go to MOM. Please make sure that you do your due diligence, and whatever that is within your responsibilities, please finish them first. Yeah.
All right, well said. Let's continue with the music right now. Here's Bruce Springsteen, Streets of Philadelphia on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits. We are with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
Someone did say something. We were just saying how we got behind all the illness survivors, the cancer survivors, and things like that. I think we also need to publicly acknowledge that we stand behind the caregivers as well.
Of course.
Because the caregivers do an immense amount of work, and they are very unsung, I think. So caregivers, we're thinking of you as well.
Continue to do the good work that you do.
Okay,
signing off.
We should be. Jerry, do you have any last words for people dealing with this?
Yep. So just a little bit more, and I think FD will really like that because he loved all his structure. So borrowing from the reality therapy, so one of the theories, because resilience sounds like a very huge concept. So borrowing from that theory, there is the WDEP method. It's what you want. What you want. What are you doing? And then we evaluate whether it's working or not. And then we start to plan. What is the next plan? So that helps a little bit if you're trying to work on this resilience part of things. You need to ask yourself what you want. So that's the W. What are you doing actually? Okay, and then you evaluate, and then you plan again based on whatever that you need to change. So having hope is great, but also we need to see what kind of changes, and should we change the change or not.
Right.
So WDEP is a very nice framework for those that actually need some help to just structure your thoughts and work on it.
Okay. All right. We're going back on air. Thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us today.
No worries.
Awesome.
No worries.
Awesome as always.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. G.
Shaun never show photo.
Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, Jerry can stay on for this, actually.
Yeah, can stay.
Okay, hold on, because we've got a question to ask, and you can be a part of this.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Dutchman's question of the day is brought to you by
Did you
Reach.
show him, Shaun?
So every morning we do a question, and it's brought to you by Reach. This morning's question, and I was wondering what sort of replies we would get from our fans, is describe Singapore in 3 words. So I came up with the question, and then I sat there and I went, damn, I don't know how to answer this.
But we have hundreds of responses.
A lot of responses.
Hundreds and
But
hundreds.
what I did come up with was a word that's used by many of our fans. Safe.
Okay.
First word.
Okay.
Second word, competitive.
All right.
Third word, and I wish I didn't think of this word, rushed.
Okay.
These are the 3 words I would use to describe Singapore.
We should ask Jerry. Jerry, 3 words to describe Singapore.
I'll go with safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with small.
Okay.
And what might be the last one? I will call it home.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Safe,
Nice.
small, and home.
That's
Nice. Okay. So let's keep this going then. Glenn.
Home sweet home.
Home
Wow.
sweet home. Okay, fine.
He
Ivan.
He broke the system.
He broke the system, yeah. Ivan.
Broke it. Well, mine's similar to Dr. G. Small, safe, and spicy. I mean, as in hot.
Oh, as in hot spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sean.
Mine would be stressed, creative, and delicious.
So funny that his first word was stressed.
Stressed.
Yeah.
Why?
I think like a lot
why?
of people feel very stressed.
Do you
very-
do you think that the young in Singapore feel particularly stressed?
I think they are learning to not be so stressed because they're learning not to care so much about trivial things, and they're becoming a little bit more hipster in terms of like I don't need certain things in my life that my parents used to push me to go towards to. So I don't have that kind of competitive nature in me.
Yeah. Wow.
So a lot of them are just very like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing. I'm exploring myself. I'm trying to understand who I am, what my skills, my talents are. That's where the creative part comes in.
Because that's the only way to reduce that stress, right?
Yeah.
Or to avoid the
yeah,
stress.
to be out of that rat race.
That's
Okay.
very interesting.
I feel.
That's a very interesting description of it. I found that.
I'm sure Jerry hears it all the time.
Do you?
How stressed kids feel. Oh,
They-
not
they-
just kids,
yes.
young adults as well.
The
Young
word
adults,
gets used and overused here. Yes. Very
Stressed is a big word for the young, but as you said, where they're learning to pull back.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. We've got a lot of interesting comments that came through from our listeners, and it gives you an idea of how our fans feel about Singapore. And I think, shall we come back and do what
Of
our
course.
fans... We'll come back and tell you what our fans think of Singapore when they answered the question, describe Singapore in 3 words.
Glenn and the Flying
What is this photo of me I hear?
You didn't.
What is this?
Okay. I'll stand by the photo at the end. Okay, but we can carry on with this question first.
Oh, so
Okay.
you're actually going to put this photo up?
Yes, this photo is quite epic.
Yeah, these guys have been looking
I
so
said-
sheepish
I
from this
said-
morning.
I said if Glenn is okay, then I'm okay because I really look very awful in that photo.
No, never mind.
So
don't care about
No,
Glenn. It's okay. yeah.
it's okay. It's okay.
They
We're gonna
don't
put it
care
up.
about me. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm game for anything anyway.
So let's see what our fans had to say when they had to describe Singapore.
Yep.
Modern, controlled, and competitive.
So serious.
Yeah, very, very serious, right?
Modern, controlled, and
Competitive.
Competitive.
That's from Mall. Shabin said, best country ever. Henry said, fineful, wonderful, and beautiful.
Fineful.
We had Faisal who said, work, home, repeat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a routine for many people.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, I think, it's a very real routine. Constance,
I like that.
Constance, on the other hand, said safe, green, and vibrant. I'm not sure where Howard got this one. He said tropical tax haven.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Which is very true. You know, I mean, which is why many people from other countries come over here so that they can get some form of tax relief.
relief.
Maybe not the Americans, because they still get taxed pretty high,
Yeah.
no matter where they work, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for people here in Singapore who complain about our tax system,
Oh, we're not that bad.
we are very good
Yeah.
actually.
Fendi said humid, hectic, and expansive. Starlene said paradise on earth. Michelle said heaven on earth. Joel said something. Everything also one,
What do you mean?
as in the number one.
Every
Everything also one. In other words, you've got to be number one all the time.
Oh.
That could be very, very pressurizing for the average person.
No, that's just him.
yeah,
that's
but that's how he sees it.
right.
Look Kia Weng said, I can't type it here.
Son not happy already. Son got to
Yeah.
go to Malaysia and live. Already.
Yeah. El Chu said, Q, food and safe. Wet, hot, and humid came out again. Lip Theodore. Small, intelligent, new.
New.
It's the new that threw me off. Small, I can understand.
We are-
Intelligent, I can understand.
Well, we're still
New,
a very
maybe
young. We're still a very
because
young
we're
nation.
a new nation, maybe.
compared to all the other countries around the world.
Yeah. Ting Hao said, boring and expensive.
Ting Hao must be a youngin, right?
Faisal came,
Where would you like to move to, Ting Hao?
yeah, that these days isn't expensive. I mean, name a country that isn't expensive these days.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you go and work somewhere else, you're being paid on their pay scale, and things are, you're going to be back to square one, you know?
And she, right?
Ting Hao.
Ting Hao sounds like a girl.
Liao Ting Hao.
She, and Ting Hao says it's boring as well here in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Faisal also says pay and pay. Faizola says nothing is free.
Okay.
Trevor Nerva says safe, convenient, expensive. Interesting.
Are we that expensive?
Well,
Okay, I
I think
think
we are.
okay. Let's put it this
Yeah,
way.
try spending like 2 weeks in London.
Yeah, but I think for a lot of us, like you take for example me,
Or anywhere in
growing
Europe.
up, growing up.
Yeah.
Singapore was a hell of a lot cheaper than
Of course, lah. You can't.
and people are not realizing that we have gone from underdeveloped to developing to developed nation, and things are going to increase.
There are certain things that are expensive. Yes, cars are expensive.
Housing's expensive.
Well, that is if you go for private property.
No, even your
Public housing's okay.
Yeah.
you really think so at $500,000 for a flat?
Well, in other countries, your public housing,
but
is worthless.
Yeah, but for us
over here,
at least you can make money when
exactly,
you sell it, which is true, which is very true.
Well, how to please you guys?
It's very hard.
Which is why it's a good thing I'm not in. I'm not in government. No?
Alun says,
I would lose it with all of you.
Just a couple more before we go back. Alun says unique, strategic, and iconic. Estosto says can be better.
Estoso is a medical condition.
I think it sounds like it. Yeah. Jen says a fine city.
There. A fine city, as in a fine city.
As in not as in a fine city.
Yeah.
As a fine city.
As in
you get fined all the time.
Yeah.
And then you get the home sweet home, like Glenn said. And Mustafa, the final one, Mustafa says, describe Singapore in 3 words. Wear your mask.
So clever.
You can go to our Facebook page and be involved in the question that's brought to you by Reach. The question today is, describe Singapore in 3 words.
Nice. Okay, so we have that photo. You want to see?
Let's do this photo.
Glenn has no idea what's happening, so it's going to be a shock.
Done.
Oh no! It was okay. Never mind.
No, okay, now you have to
Well, they
explain
gave me
this
an
photo.
impression it was a photo that we took together.
Huh?
You did? Is you and Glenn?
Yes.
But that's all. That's all I know. I haven't seen the photo.
Oh my gosh!
Okay,
Everybody's looking at it now.
Everybody's looking at it now.
Where?
Right there.
Oh. Oh my God, that's you!
So
Oh my God, that's me!
Oh, that is just hilarious.
Oh my god! Now I see it.
That is hilarious.
You're so cute, Jerry.
You are very cute, Jerry.
Were you 12?
Very cute.
Wait, how old were you?
No, I'm not 12. So this was in J2. You came when you were with 99.7.
Oh, 98.7.
98.7.
Yeah.
98.7, and we were all like the student leaders and the student council. So we were all fangirling you, yeah.
I have the fangirl one here.
There you go.
Oh wow!
Surrounded by
Wait,
ladies.
this was let me see. Which school was this? I can't remember.
Is it?
NYJC.
NYJC Nanyang.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe this was taken on film.
Wow!
Oh my God.
That's so sweet. Hey, thanks for passing these photos over to for Shaun to flash. I love looking back at some of these
Very nice.
beautiful times. Really,
This
those
is
were good times.
1996.
1996.
Oh my
Yeah.
That was 2 years into my radio career.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, he's wearing a picnic mat as a t-shirt.
Oh, that's
I'll show you the
brilliant,
picnic mat
Jerry.
again.
I was 25 years old.
So handsome. The hair never changed, no?
Yeah, till now.
30 years ago.
My God, what am I wearing? What?
Yeah, that is
Was
the
this my style back in the day?
Someone call the fashion police.
We should take a photo, and then like the past and the present, like 20 years later.
we
kind of
should.
thing.
We
Wow.
should. The two of you should for sure.
Nice.
Ivan, you joined around that time as well, right? 1996,
Yeah.
1997.
We joined together, I think, the same time.
No,
Or was
Ivan,
it-
we didn't join together. You came later. So
later,
I
sorry.
joined in 93.
maybe-
I think when you came in, it was probably 97, 96, 97, I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
I might be wrong.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, you might be
Jerry.
right.
Absolutely hilarious. Oh,
Very
by the
nice.
way, Jerry, I do want to congratulate
Such a
you.
cutie, Jerry.
I do
Such a cutie.
I do want to congratulate you, Jerry, on the sign language clip you put up
Oh,
on the therapy room.
thank you.
That was really good.
We practiced very hard. Did you see our looks of concentration?
Yes, I did.
So difficult. Yeah, it's so tough. But yes, I mean, we can do one on, educating the public on the difficulty of having hearing impairment
Yeah.
and place in education.
Well done, Jerry. It was really very, very good.
Thank
I want to learn sign language as well, Jerry. We should all. Yeah. Do you know where we can go down and learn to sign?
I think there are plenty of courses out there. Or
Yeah.
not plenty, but there are courses out there.
I think now mostly online as well.
Yeah, you can
Oh, yeah?
learn it
You can learn
online.
online as
You
well.
can learn
Yeah,
it online.
yeah. But for our Singapore one, it's a Singapore Sign Language SSL. Yeah. So the one that
Okay.
we were doing was American Sign Language. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's a difference.
There is a difference.
Different
So-
accent or what when you're doing it. Just joking.
got a bit like off balance after he saw the photo.
I think so. I think so.
Are you still in touch with any of your friends in that group?
I have a few on okay, so now it's very very common to connect on Facebook. So yeah, we are Facebook friends.
Say hi to them for me.
Yes, I'm sure those some of them are already watching and listening in. So I think it was fun. I went to dig up the photo.
It was very cool. Very cool. Great
Thanks,
photo.
Jerry. Thank you as always for joining us. We appreciate
No
it.
worries.
Dr. Jerry, do you want to stay around? Because Glenn promised Mandy yesterday that he would
yeah.
sing
Yeah.
Barry Manilow's song
Thanks for reminding me.
for her and her mom.
Yeah.
Or
I
if
would
you have
love-
to go.
I have to go. I have a 9 o'clock session.
Okay, bye.
All right,
All right,
Jerry.
Jerry. Take care.
We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Jerry.
Bye.